This is some video footage of the trip we took in the fall of 17 with Tom and James, Dave, Mark, Sean, Mike, and myself up to the eastern side of the Sierras and into a couple of the national parks and the Mammoth Mountain area. It was a 2-night trip, so 2 overnights. Here we're arriving in Lone Pine, Lone Pine at the Alabama Hills Cafe for breakfast. Now heading up on this shot up towards the White Mountain Range up Highway 168 and up into the Paiute and White Mountain Range. You can see the eastern side of the Sierras in the distance, and we eventually make our way up to the bristlecone, ancient pinecone forest. Here's a shot of us. James joined us later in Bishop after we came off this mountain, so he was not in that picture. But a lot of just high altitude, really nice dirt trails, and about 10 to 11,000 feet in this area. Saw a couple wild horses still late in the season. This is the trail up to the Patriarch Grove. Here's the grove of the old 10,000-year-old pine trees and the old pine cones. It's pretty fascinating. And then we make our way back off the mountain. I think that's Mike and Sean in front. This is Mark Rendell in front of me. As we run down the mountain, again the Sierras in the distance there. We're heading west, going down the mountain. Bishop is down the bottom of that hill in the plain, and then back up the other side of the valley is going to be Mammoth Mountain, which we ended up spending quite a bit of time at in the next couple of days. This is a 4-wheel drive Jeep trail. This is Silver Canyon Road. It's very steep. The camera always takes away a lot of the steepness. Super steep on the brakes all the way down. The brake lights are flashing because of the way the bikes work and the camera works, but constant brake all the way with engine braking too. So Sean's in front here, I think, and we're just easing our way down this hill through the switchbacks and the loose rocks. You got to watch out for these hairpin curves. It can build up quite a bit of speed, like on one like this, and come around the corner and there's just nothing there. But spectacular views looking over the side. On some of these you can see the road right there down below as we switch back. It eventually comes out on Rock Creek and then into some of these water crossings. Probably crossed half a dozen of these. It's the same stream, just little crossings, and a little slippery sometimes in the rocks. These big heavy bikes come out of the gravel and get a little squirrely, like we'll see on this one. There's a boulder submerged under there. But we all made it no problem. It's just the gravel, the loose gravel pile on the exit was a little bit skittish. We'll watch the other guys cross here. This is Tom on his Africa Twin. A little sideways. All of us got a little sideways there. This is Mike coming across. You can see the middle of that. It's not too deep, maybe a foot, maybe 18 inches deep. There's Mark on his 1200. A little heavier, a little squirrely at the end. And Dave coming through now. Same sort of pattern, hits the gravel and gets a little bit squirrely, but all good, nobody got wet. Here's the group on the quick break in the shade on the way down. And here's James across the parking lot here. He met us in Bishop as he came up after work, and then we continued over towards Mammoth Mountain. This is on the way in and out of Rock Creek Road over towards Mosquito Flats, where there's some great hiking. Mike wanted to show us. This is I think that's Rock Creek Road. I forget what road that is. Stopped at Tom's for some supplies and then headed out towards the camping area at Whitmore Hot Springs. Here's the campsite. Absolutely beautiful, but super cold. This is about probably 25 degrees that night. It was extreme cold, and we weren't quite prepared for that, but did go to the hot springs nearby. I walked down to this springs area, had some refreshments, and sat in the hot springs fed pool here. It's pretty cool. We saw a really cool full moon rise over the eastern ridge behind us there. So really nice. And then this is my water bottle the next morning, which froze inside my tent. So very chilly. All the bikes were warming up here in the morning. As we get ready to take off, this is Mammoth Mountain in the distance there, and we exit going back up towards a little higher ground towards Mammoth Mountain in this shot. We're on Owens River Road here towards Mammoth Mountain again. making our way across the plain, and then we'll go through the woods, through some of the really nice forest areas, really nice trails back here. There was a 4x4 race going on. It made it a little bit dusty, but a lot of nice trails back in here. Little sandy, little small features to kind of bounce over, but kind of fun. And then we are headed up to Lookout Mountain at about 8,000 feet as we continue to climb out of the woods. That's Mark in front of me, and this is I think this is on the top of Lookout Mountain. Mammoth in the distance, and then back towards the Sierras. We'll be looking down roughly towards Mount Whitney there in the distance. So just continued then after that in the woods around Mammoth Mountain Ski Resort, and had a lot of fun kind of putzing around back here. This is very close to Mammoth Mountain Ski Resort. There's quite a few trails that we don't realize when we drive on the roads. Very nearby, so super accessible, not too difficult. Little hill action, little tree roots, and just a lot of fun to kind of run around through here. We went through the Mammoth Mountain ski area. You can see the ski lifts here, and it's kind of interesting to see that in the dry season. Up towards Minaret Vista at about 9,000 feet. This is past Mammoth Mountain. Here's the group. That ridge in the background is actually up by Tioga Pass, which we went on the next day. So we tried to take the road up to Dead Man's Pass. Really nice views up here. It's got a little bit steep for us, loaded with camping gear, so we got up to the top and decided best to turn back around and back down this mountain. There's Mammoth Mountain in the distance, Mike in front, and then back down to head back into town. I think after this we came off the mountain and I think had some lunch as we got back into Mammoth. Did see some snow here, and went around to some of the lakes nearby. This is actually, I think, the lake at the bottom of the ski resort, and we actually rode on the ski slope. This is one of the ski slopes of Mammoth Mountain. You see the ski signs indicating intermediate trail in the distance, and then we went hiking to the Inyo Crater, which is really cool afterwards. Stopped at lunch at Schatz Bakery, great lunch there, and went through the lakes area, Twin Lakes, Horseshoe Lakes, Lake George, I think, Lake Mary, and really nice camping areas. And then went through the Crater Mountain area after that to get some more off-road riding after we saw the Lake District. So took some wrong turns here. We got into some gnarly rocks. Mike, as most of us do, had a little down during turnaround. It's typically when we drop the bike trying to maneuver out of an area, so got him back, and then I went into some heavy sand and dumped it right here, so nice form, got that picked up, and again just heading back towards the Crater Mountain area. Really nice off-road riding, and some GPS navigation, and as we came out of the woods, got into a much more serious problem. Tom was on his Africa Twin down this road behind me about a mile. I think he went down and he actually broke his ankle on that trail behind us there. So very serious break, but he was able to ride out. That's Mono Lake as we rode north, swung back around here down towards Mammoth Mountain and Mammoth Lakes area to get him back to the hospital. So Tom is in the pack. This is Mark in front of me, or maybe Sean there, but got the group back down to the hospital that evening. Ended up have Tom in the hospital. There was actually a black bear in the woods there, if you want to back up and look. And then got Tom's bike back on the pickup truck the next morning. We stayed at a condo in Mammoth, and that bear was in the parking lot. Tom ended up getting picked up by his wife Jean, and got him back home to the Boulder City, Colorado, or Nevada area. We, the next day, without Tom now, got him operated on, got his leg put back together, and then we went through the June Lakes area, and then this is up Tioga Pass into Yosemite. Absolutely beautiful. In the fall here, not too much traffic, and the waterfall still running with some melting snow up Tioga. Big waterfall on the left there. Basically, we just went through the top part of the Tioga Pass, back down into the park, entered the park here at Yosemite, and just drove over the pass back into Yosemite Valley, and went through the park. Just barely stopped for a couple pictures, because our goal in this afternoon was to get down through Yosemite, all the way back down past Fresno, and then back up into the mountains to Kings Canyon, which was our second camp stop for the evening. So this would have been Saturday, and we're making our way now. You can see Half Dome in the distance as we come back down Tioga Pass into Yosemite through the tunnels down into the valley of Yosemite Park. Absolutely beautiful ride, particularly at this time of year. Not too much traffic. Here's the tunnel view. I believe there's Bridalveil Falls in the background of the group here. Again, minus Tom in that picture, as he's already home by now via his ride back home with Jane in the truck. So we continued back down through Fresno, made it to Kings Canyon here at a nice camp spot. Here's Sean eating MRE in the campsite. And we drove down into Kings Canyon. Absolutely beautiful. It's a one-way road down and then back out, but spectacular views. There's camping in the bottom, but we camped on top in a park camp, and then went into the bottom here. See us descending. Really beautiful, nice paved roads all the way to the bottom, and then just back up just for a nice scenic drive as we get to the bottom of the park here. We do a lot of hiking down there. We did not do that. Might be another activity for a different day. A lot of river crossings, and then back up out of the park, back up the same road we came down, and after that ended up making our way back down the Sierras, and ended up going then through Sequoia National Park. So that ended up being Yosemite, Kings Canyon, Sequoia National Parks all in one trip. There's my bike at the gas station. This is how to overfill your gas tank. And then as we come back out of the Sierras, some of the nice winding roads up near Bakersfield. Fantastic trip.